Welcome to the colony.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the colony. This is Gothic, and it is the new series we will be starting. We will go through Gothic 1 first, and then we might go through the second and third one as well. Now, I have played these games before, I mean the first and the second one. I skipped the third, it was really bad on launch, so it just didn't work out. But it's been a very long time, and I forgot a lot of things about this game, even though it was my favorite ever when I grew up. Well, when I was growing up. I do have the community patches installed, otherwise the game would not have worked on my system. Other than that, the game is fully voice acted in English, and the voice acting is, let's say it's so bad, it's good. So I'm gonna try my best to let it run while we are doing our thing. That also means I'm not gonna have to read text out loud, so you're not gonna cringe at my voice just reading. But of course, I will guide you through my thought process while playing. So, without further ado, let's jump right in.
The kingdom of Murtana, united by King Robar II. During the long years of his reign, he was able to defeat all foes of his realm. All except one. The war against the orcs took its toll, and the prisoners of the realm were to pay the price. The king needed swords for his army, and every man guilty of a crime, no matter how insignificant, was forced to work in the ore mines of Corinus. To make it impossible for them to escape, the king sent out the best magicians of the kingdom to create a magic barrier around the entire valley. I was one of them. Something disturbed the delicate structure of magic. We were trapped inside our own barrier. 1 second of negligence was enough for the prisoners. Corinus was now under the control of the convicts. The king had no choice. He had to negotiate. He needed the ore. Month after month, the king supplied everything the prisoners needed. Month after month, they brought the ore to the edge of the barrier in exchange. Until the present day. Another convict was brought to the cliff. He did not know, but he would change everything.
In the name of King Robar II, bearer of the scepter of Verant, I sentence this convict to...
Stop! Convict, I've got an offer to make you. This letter must reach the leader of the Magicians of Fire.
You're wasting your time.
You may choose your own reward. They'll give you anything you ask for.
Very well, I'll take your letter. On one condition. Spare me the rest of his nonsense.
How dare you!
Keep silent. Right, send him in.
Welcome to the colony.
That's enough. Leave him alone. And now scram! Get up. I'm Diego.
I'm
not interested in who you are. You've just arrived. I look after the new arrivals. That's all for now. If you plan to stay alive for a while, you should talk to me. But of course, I won't keep you from choosing your own destruction. Well, what do you think?
Alright, so here we are in the colony. Now, if it wasn't clear from the intro video, the colony is a mining settlement for magic ore that's used in the war against the orcs. Now, this has been surrounded by a barrier which lets people in, but it doesn't let them out. It basically kills them, which will be explained at a later date. And I'm guessing you already noticed the amazing graphics that this game has, and of course the voice acting, which is patchy in some spots and actually not that bad in others. Right, we are going to talk to Diego, who is our friend here. He will be kind of our friend and mentor throughout the Gothic games, but we will learn that in time. What I was gonna say for my Stalker followers out there is actually a reason why I picked Gothic. It's because this game does not hold your hand, and if you stray too far from the path without being ready to face where the things that are on the path you're going, you will get murdered. In my experience, this is the closest a fantasy RPG game is to the Stalker experience, so I hope you guys enjoy it. With all that said, let's talk with Diego and see what he has to say. What do I need to know about this place?
okay. What do I need to know about this place?
We call it the colony. You'll know already that we produce ore for the king. Well, at least we do, in the old camp. There are 3 camps within the barrier. The old camp is the biggest, and it was the first.
How do I get to the old camp?
You just follow this path. The old camp is the next reasonably safe-looking place you'll come across. There are a lot of wild beasts between the camps. You'd be mad to walk around without a weapon.
Where do I get a weapon?
When you get to the old mine, have a look around. I'm sure you'll find something useful. The mine is easy to find. It's just a few meters along the canyon.
Why did you help me?
Because you needed help. Otherwise, Bullet and his boys might have killed you. And I couldn't just stand by and watch, because I came all this way to make a suggestion.
A suggestion?
Yes. After this little incident with Bullet and his guys, you should be aware now that you need protection. Everyone who arrives here has a choice. There are 3 camps in the colony, and you'll have to join one of them. I'm here to show the new ones that the old camp is the best place for them.
Where's Bullet now?
He and the others bring the goods from the outside world into the camp. You'll find him there, but if you plan to fight him, be careful. He's an experienced warrior.
I have a letter for the High Magician of the Circle of Fire.
Really?
I was given it by a mage shortly before they threw me in here.
You're lucky I can't afford to show my face around the mages anymore. Anyone else would gladly slit your throat for that letter. That's because the mages pay their couriers a lot, and most people here don't have anything. If I were you, I'd shut up until I met one of the mages. Although in your situation, that's not likely to happen.
Why not?
The mages are in the castle in the old camp. Only Gomez's people are allowed to enter the castle.
Who's Gomez?
Gomez is the most powerful ore baron. He's the boss of the old camp, the most powerful man in the colony.
I'm gonna stop here for just a moment. It's really funny that I'm getting all this lore exposition, asking questions, and I still haven't stepped out of the water. And I wonder at this point, how wet are my boots on the inside?
Let's assume I want to join his people. What do I need to do?
At the gate of the castle, you'll find a man called Thoris. Tell him Diego sent you.
Thanks for your help.
We'll meet in the old camp.
Alright, and now we actually get into the gameplay. Now, this game is pretty old, as I'm sure you've noticed. So, the controls are a bit weird. This was before standardized controls were a thing. So I'm gonna tell you a bit about how this game controls, because it's an adventure. It's both horrible and beautiful at the same time. So we've got mouse movement left and right, and of course camera angling, panning, whatever you call it. We've got click does nothing. Click is the action button, which if you, for example, need to pick something up, like this torch here, you're gonna have to click it, which brings it into focus, and then you're gonna have to press the forward key. And that's how you pick something up. Right click is jump. Yeah, you heard that right. Right click is jump. If you want to actually fight something, you have to get in your fighting stance, which is the spacebar, and then you get to hit something. We don't have a weapon right now, but that's kind of how it works. We also have strafing, and then sneaking, though you have to learn the skill first. And I do believe we can run. No, never mind, we can't run. This is our maximum speed right now. The button, which is bound to running, actually makes you walk. Isn't this amazing? Right, so let's go ahead and search around a little bit. Oh, so what you saw right there was the barrier. If we get a bit too close to the wall, we're gonna get zapped. And we're gonna get so zapped that we die in one shot. So let's try not to do that. Right, a beer and an ore nugget. Now, you don't know this yet, but I will tell you, ore nuggets are actually the currency that is used in the colony. Since they don't have money, they trade using ore. Right, other than that, bottom left corner, you've got the health bar, and I think bottom right will be the mana bar, if we get to cast spells. There is no map, not yet at least. We're gonna have to buy one, and even then, there will never be any mini-map. We'll just have to figure out where we are by reading a map, which is amazing and immersive. Other than that, we've got our character screen right here. We've got 5 mana, 40 life, and nothing else. And then our inventory, which is accessed by pressing tab, and we have these large columns here for weapons, armor, magic, artifacts, food, where we have our beer, potions, writings, miscellaneous. And all trades in the colony are actually barters. So we can trade stuff in exchange for other stuff. Right, so there is a guard post here. Just a standard guard, which again, to talk to, I'm gonna have to hold the action button, press forward.
How's it going?
Good, none of the rogues from the new camp are to be seen anywhere.
Okay, what about you, Ori?
What are you doing here?
Making sure no one gets near the exchange place, especially one of those cutthroats from the new camp. You're the new guy they chucked in today, right?
That's me.
Then you'd better watch out for the guys from the new camp. I work for the old camp, same as the others you saw at the exchange place. I assume you've talked to Diego.
Yes, I have.
Good. Then you know what's what around here.
Right, so let's ask him some questions as well, just because it's really fun to hear what everyone has to say. The world of Gothic is actually... It feels alive. Even though the talking is a little bit robotic, I do remember I played this right as I was also playing The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. And Oblivion felt empty compared to Gothic, even though Gothic is older and much more simplistic in a way. But I hope you'll see what I mean as we go on through this game.
Why do I have to watch out for the guys from the new camp?
Compared to the new camp, the old camp's a quiet, peaceful sort of place. The new camp doesn't get any deliveries from the outside world. Most of the rogues there just steal whatever they need.
And the old camp?
The ore barons have everything under control. Next in line to them are the guards, followed by the shadows. The diggers are the lowest. Everyone who arrives here starts out as a digger. If you want to become something better than that, you'll have to get accepted as a shadow first.
When I was washed ashore, one of the guys punched me in the face.
They do that to all the newcomers. They call it Standing Godfather.
Oh, are all the guys like that in the old camp?
We do have a few suckers, but they won't touch you as long as you pay them protection money.
I saw a woman being sent down with the goods.
Yeah, the ore barons get everything they want.
Do you mean to say the king exchanges women for ore?
They're convicted criminals too, of course. But if Gomez hadn't asked for them, they'd be sitting in some dungeon or other. I'm not sure what's worse.
I'm looking for a weapon.
There should be some old weapons by the derelict mine, further down the canyon. But don't go and start a war with nothing but a rusty pickaxe for a weapon. Those things are slow and heavy. An inexperienced fighter should never use one of them unless it's an emergency. You'd better make sure you reach the old camp in one piece.
Okay. So we got a bit more information out of him, and here's our first creature that we meet. It's a meat bug. Now these guys can't do anything to you except annoy you because you can't hit them properly. Oh, some blueberries as well. We're gonna pick up everything, and even the bug meat. We might have to use it for a quest later. Let's go ahead and grab this other one as well. An arrow. So as you can see, a lot of people died around here, and I'm not sure what happened. It's never explained, but I'm thinking we can take a guess. Right, and we even got a picklock. There are 11 coins in here, but we are in the colony, and coins don't have any value here. Right, so more blueberries. These will give a little bit of health. And Diego and the other guy did tell us that we might find some pickaxes at the entrance to the old mine. And here it is, our first weapon, a pickaxe. And we're gonna go ahead and equip it. Again, in the inventory, you gotta select the item and press forward. And finally, we have a pickaxe. Now, we are completely untrained, so we don't really know how to use it, but I will tell you a bit about how you control a fight. First of all, when an enemy comes up, you're gonna have to focus it by holding the action button, just as before. Now, while you're doing that, your character will lock on the enemy, and it will turn around towards it. But if you don't have an enemy focused, you actually can't turn left and right. Right now I'm moving my mouse, but it doesn't do anything. Now, the actual fighting actions, while focusing, if you press forward, you will do an advancing attack. pressing left is a short attack to the left, pressing right is a strike to the right, and you can of course alternate these if you get the exact tempo right. And then pressing back is a parry, which is, in my experience, pretty useless. Let's go ahead and try and fight that thing. There's a sword in that skeleton there, so I'm gonna try and sneak that. Alright, so our pickaxe has 7 damage, while the sword has 10. So also the sword is one-handed instead of two-handed, so let's get into our first combat. This is a mole rat, and the cool thing about Gothic creatures is sometimes they act as real creatures would. If you don't get too close to them, they won't even care. They won't attack on sight unless they're aggressive creatures, but the mole rat, he's just standing his ground. If I get too close, he's just warning me not to come closer. If I stay into his in his space for too long, he will start attacking me. There we go. And focus him up. Alright. And we got our first kill. Now, you have no idea how funny the combat system is. It's completely crazy. And that one combat just reminded me how weird it is. It's really good against a single opponent, because you get to focus it and react to what they're doing, but when fighting multiple opponents, it becomes a nightmare. Alright, I'm just looking around. I want to see if we can find anything. Right, so I saw a chest up there next to this mine entrance, so we're gonna pick that up as well. Let's see, can we open it? Yes, we can. Another beer and 4 arrows. And another pickaxe. There is no weight limit in this game, so we can just pick everything up without any issues. Okay, anything else around here? Doesn't look like it. There is another path that leads us higher up this hill, but if I remember correctly, I think... Oh, Seraphis. It's a healing plant of sorts. Right, so up here, I think that's a scavenger. It's just a little bird-like thing, but I think there was something worse around here. If I remember right, there is a goblin here, and at this level, goblins will murder us with no problems. Okay, let's draw this little bird in. Gonna shout at us for 3 or 4 times, and then it's gonna charge. And because we are completely unskilled with the sword, the best tactic we have right now is wildly swinging left and right. And there's a few more mole rats. I'm sure there was a goblin around here somewhere. Oh, is it starting to rain? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna risk it. Oh, there he is. No, that's another scavenger. Okay, let's see if we can pull just one of them here. Right, and the other one, I'm just gonna charge ahead on it. So there is a reason why I'm trying to take all of these fights. It's because the experience in Gothic is limited. There is no respawns here. The most you will get is between acts. Some of the... Oh, there's a goblin right there. Yeah, we definitely don't want to engage that guy. We are way underpowered for it. But as I was saying, between acts, can we actually steal this without the goblin noticing us? Right, so once you move from one act to the next, there will be some respawns and the world will change a little bit every time. So different animals will appear in different places, and it actually feels like you're having an effect on the world. You can go anywhere in the world with no problems. By no problems, I mean you aren't blocked at any point. There are no invisible walls. You can just go ahead and go wherever you want in the colony, but they are blocked off, usually, by high-level enemies. And yes, you could go to that one plateau that seems very enticing, but, you know, you could meet a troll there, so... Oh, the jumping down's always weird. So, if you're exploring, it's actually an amazing experience because you learn to look out for the creatures, you save your game, which, by the way, I should do right now, and you try it out. If you can fight the creature, then yeah, you're supposed to be there. If you can't, then you're supposed to go back and explore some more, do some more quests for experience, train yourself. Because, yeah, this game does not hold your hand. Let's go ahead and kill these other two scavengers. I'm not gonna wait for them to charge at me, since we're taking them on one by one. Another club, some arrows. And we find another old sword. Is there anything else to pick up around here? Doesn't look like it. Let's see that sword. Is it better than what we have? Yes, by 2 damage. So we're gonna pick it up. And let's go deal with the other scavenger. Oh. Well, that wasn't a very good combat, but we can just munch on some berries. And our life is already back. Now this is because we have very little health at this moment. Okay, and there it is. That is the old camp. Though, if you're playing it for the first time, you're never sure. I remember the first time I played this game as a kid. And we're gonna pick up these orc leaf, and we're just gonna pick up everything, because everything in this game is limited. But I remember the first time I played this as a kid, and I didn't realize that was the old camp. And there are a couple of guards on a bridge a bit further. And if you ask one of them if that's the old camp, he will just troll you and tell you the old camp is through the forest. There are wolves in that forest. It's scary. So you can imagine I got completely mauled. And that's how Gothic is. Let's talk to these guys. They look different. Rax and Ratford.
Hey, you.
What do you want?
I want to warn you. If you continue this way, you'll be entering our hunting ground.
What do you hunt?
What do you hunt?
Mostly scavengers. There's a lot of meat on them. Besides, it ain't too hard to get them, once you know how.
Really? How's that?
Ask my friend Drax here. He knows more about these things than anyone.
Why is this area so dangerous?
You've just arrived, haven't you? There are different areas in this colony which are all more or less dangerous. The paths between the camps are quite safe, but even there you might come across some wolves which look on you as easy prey. And that's exactly what you are until you get a proper weapon and armor.
Where can I get better equipment?
The nearest place is that old camp. Just follow the path that brought you here. But you can get the stuff cheaper in our new camp, provided you know the right people. If you go to the old camp, ask for Mordrag. He's one of us. For just a little ore, he'll sell you the proper goods.
Tell me more about the areas of the colony.
If you travel between the camps, you'll need a map to distinguish paths and dead ends. Dead ends often lead you to dangerous canyons where you encounter creatures you'd better avoid. Do not enter the old ruins. There are too many around here, and most of them are old fortifications dating back to the time of the First Orc War. Some are abandoned orc dwellings. There are often orcs in those ruins, or even worse creatures. I'd avoid those places, especially at night. And one more hint, don't go into the forest.
Where do I get a map?
Ask the people in the old camp. There's a cartographer living there. Maybe you can steal one of his maps. If you manage to do it, take one from me as well.
Why? Doesn't he sell the maps?
If you get enough ore to pay for them.
Thanks for your help.
Don't go thinking everyone's gonna be so friendly, kid. There may not be much in a newcomer's pockets, but some folks would even beat you up for a pickaxe.
I'll keep it in mind. You're hunting, aren't you?
Looks like it. What do you want?
Do you have some hints for the hunt?
I could teach you a few things, but everything has its price.
Which would be how much?
A good gulp of beer will do to start with. Then we'll see.
Well, it's a good thing we actually found some beer on the way.
Here you are. Take a beer and tell me about hunting.
Scavengers. That's what we call the big birds. Should be attacked one after the other. It's easy to lure single scavengers from the pack. If you come too close, they'll become irritated. After a while, they'll storm in your direction. At this point, you should be waiting for them with a raised weapon. If you manage to strike the beast before it hits you, you have to keep fighting. Then you'll be able to defeat the creature without being hurt yourself. If it hits you first, well, just don't let him.
What else can you tell me about hunting?
A lot, but it'll cost you more than a beer. If you know how, you can take the creature's teeth, claws, and skin. It's hard to get them, but they are valuable. At least every merchant will trade those things with you.
Alright, so for the measly cost of 100 ore, or 50 or 100 or whatever, he will actually teach us how to get either how to skin certain animals or remove furs or teeth or claws, which would be amazing. These will make our money back in no time. The problem is 100 ore is a lot for starting up, and the other thing is it requires a skill point. Every skill you learn in Gothic requires skill points, including attributes like strength, dexterity, and learning how to better wield a sword, or how to sneak, or acrobatics. Everything costs skill points, and experience is limited because there are no respawns. So we are going to have to be careful about how we spend our skill points. Right now, we don't have any anyway, and we don't have the money, so...
You're demanding a lot for your advice.
Possibly, but you can earn a lot of ore with this knowledge. All the animals you kill without knowing how to cut them up will just rot away. That's a wasted opportunity of skinning them and selling the fur at a high price. If I were you, I'd try to gain this knowledge as soon as possible.
Okay, so these guys were pretty nice, and they belong to the new camp, which is interesting. It's a good introduction for them. And I see there are some scavengers here. Let's see if we can pull them in one by one. I don't want to grab too many at once. Oh! Alright.
You're very probably right.
For yourself. People don't need to know it.
Listen to all the flattery.
It was obvious there would be trouble.
Anything else around here? I don't want to go too far in that direction, because that's where the forest is. Another thing, maybe you've heard some voices behind us. These two guys talking. They do that.
People always talk.
But the idle chatter never has the same voice actors as the actual persons, so yeah.
But keep it to yourself.
It's nice and derpy like that, and that's why I love it. Okay, let's get ourselves another scavenger here. Oh! So yeah, if the target moves while you're in the middle of an attack, you will miss it. And there are some characters or monsters that will move around a lot. But once we learn a little bit more about combat, we should be okay. Right, there was another scavenger. I'm gonna take that one as well. Two of them, actually. Just because right now, every little bit of experience counts. Ooh, to the left there, that's a couple of blood flies. And those will definitely murder me at this point. Okay, I'm gonna have to eat something because our health is a little low. Come on. Weird dinosaur bird thing. God damn it. Stole the last hit and all the experience with it. Okay, let's talk to these guys. Let's see what they say. Let's see if it's as I remembered.
What are you doing here?
What's it look like? Regarding the bridge, of course.
Of course.
We make sure that no beasts cross the bridge.
I mean, there are blood flies right there to the right. I don't think they need to cross the bridge.
What are you doing?
Oops,
What? We...
Have you got any advice for me?
Yeah, don't go in the forest on your own. Unless you're strong enough to fight off all the beasts.
Oh, that voice acting is beautiful.
Make sure you get to the old camp. They're holding a pickaxe for you.
Hi, I'm new here.
How nice for you.
Is that the old camp over there?
No, that's the new camp. The old camp is underneath the bridge.
So yeah, we are in a penal colony in the end, so we're gonna have to earn our place here. Okay, let's do a little fight with this scavenger as well, since it's right here. Luckily, you can stun lock them if you're good enough. If you get the timing just right. The problem is, the enemies can stun lock you as well. I don't want to fight the mole rats yet, because they are a little strong. Okay, and of course we're just gonna grab everything we come across. Because we can actually trade everything we come across. even though it might not be worth a lot. Alright, and here we are, the old camp. But for now, we'll leave it at that for this episode. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this new series. And of course, tune in for the next episodes when we will go into the old camp and see what that's about. What we have to do to finally get that letter to the mages. This is Chromanim, and as always, I will see you all next time.